guys, Lucas Sacco here. This time I'm showing you the Yubel deck from LEDE in the 2024 competitive metagame. Before we get into it, I did want to give a shout out to my sponsor, First Class Gaming. Check them out in the description. If you can subscribe to them, it would mean a lot to me. For this combo though, I'm only going to show you the best one card combo in this deck currently. The deck does improve quite a bit once the Battles of Legends set comes out in June, I believe, that has the Yubel fusion in it. And I can show those combos very, very soon. But that card, when it drops, it's going to completely change the way every deck is played. If you look over to what the OCG is doing right now, they're taking that tiny little Yubel engine and basically throwing it into every deck. You can throw into Labyrinth, Snake Eye, Chimera. It's just, there's so much synergy from just being able to summon a guy, then make Cross Sheep, and then summon a negate, and then you get Cross Sheep to revive. It's basically like 3 free bodies and a negate off of 1 card. It's insane. Another piece of synergy that I did want to mention before getting into this deck's synergy is the cool interactions that the Yubel deck has with the Labyrinth cards. We can go over to this card right now. This card says, when this card is activated, you can take 1 Fiend monster with 0 attack, 0 defense from your deck, and either add it to your hand or destroy it. And then it says, once per turn when a Yubel is destroyed, you can add a Yubel from deck, grave, or banished, whose level is 1 higher, 1 lower, and then summon it. Right? The important thing that I was talking about with the Labyrinth synergy is that you get to add a Fiend with 0 attack and 0 defense. I'm not going to name exactly which Labyrinth monster that is, but he's right there, and that guy's pretty good in certain hands. So being able to have the choices of what you want to do is really cool with the Labyrinth deck. Not showing that off right now, I'm just showing off pure Yubel, but I did want to mention that. So here's the combo. We're going to start with Nightmare Throne, use Nightmare Throne's effect to add Samsara D Lotus. Then we're going to normal summon Samsara D Lotus, use the effect to tribute and special summon a Yubel monster from deck. After we summon the Yubel monster, we then get the trigger effect of Spirit of Yubel, which is if this card is special summoned, add or set 1 card from your deck that mentions Yubel. So we're going to set Nightmare Pain. Really important ruling to note, the Nightmare Throne field spell here doesn't actually mention Yubel in its text, even though Yubel is here and here on the card. You can't set or add Nightmare Throne off of this because this card here doesn't mention Yubel. It mentions a Yubel monster, which is really weird, and I know, but I promise that's how it works, and it's really cringe, but it's something that you need to know. So we're going to set Nightmare Pain off of the Spirit of Yubel and use Nightmare Pain to destroy Spirit of Yubel and add Infernal Grave Squirmer. And after we destroy Spirit of Yubel, it's going to trigger the effect of Spirit of Yubel to summon and the field spell's effect to summon. So we're going to summon 2 monsters. We're going to summon Yubel itself, and then we're going to add Yubel Terror Incarnate, and then special summon it, ignoring summoning conditions. Then we're going to link both of those Yubel monsters into Unchained Soul of Yama, use the effect to add Sharvara, and then use the effect of Infernal Grave Squirmer to special summon out. Then we're going to link 2 into Unchained Soul of Rage. Now that we have Unchained Soul of Rage, we're going to use the graveyard effect of Infernal Squirmer to banish itself and special summon a 0/0 Fiend from the graveyard. Then we're going to use the effect of Sharvara to destroy Spirit of Yubel, which is going to give us 2 triggers here. We're going to activate Spirit of Yubel to summon from deck again because that effect is not once per turn for some reason. And then we're going to use the effect of Yama to banish itself because the card was destroyed, and special summon back either the Yubel or the Spirit of Yubel. Either way, you're going to have 2 level 10 monsters on the field. And then we're going to actually do something cool here. We're going to link into Promethean Princess. We have to make a Fiend monster here, but funny enough, Promethean Princess is a Fiend. So linking those away, that's going to trigger our Sharvara to set Abominable Chamber of the Unchained from deck. That way we have the ability to revive our Rage whenever we want to. So we still have access to that Rage that we went through. Now that we are out of a Fiend lock, we're in a Fire lock. So let's fix that problem by summoning back Sharvara, and then we can link those into Amphibious, Swarmship, and Blowell. The other option here is if you want to play Sunlight Wolf, you can make Sunlight Wolf now, and then when you do make this new rank 10 monster, you can make it underneath the Sunlight Wolf and then use it to add back Sharvara. Let's go over this new rank 10 monster here. Since this card is new, it says when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation. Good card, it's just a negate, right? Has more text. Then you can detach 1 material from this card, then destroy 1 card in the field. So it's a negate that optionally lets you detach to destroy again. Card has more text. At the start of the damage step, if this card with material attacks, you can destroy 1 card in the field. Doesn't target, it's a pop, really good. Has more text. if this XYZ summon card is destroyed, you can destroy one card on the field. That card is insane, right? Something that's really important to note is that with your Yama, a lot of people didn't know this from Unchained, but it doesn't just revive when a card is destroyed. It special summons one Fiend monster from your hand or graveyard, and then it says you can destroy, right? So if you've used both of the materials underneath your Valdorath, but you think you need a pop for some reason, when you trigger your Yama, you can special summon back like Soul of Rage and then destroy Valdorath as part of the revive effect from Yama, which would then trigger Valdorath to get an extra pop on your opponent's field. So that's really, really cool to know. So what the disruptions here line up to is you have one negate with an optional pop. Let's just call that 2 disruptions. We have Chamber, which is going to revive Rage. Rage is going to link with their monster, that's 1 removal. Make SP Little Knight, which is going to banish a card, another removal. Then we have SP Little Knight's effect to banish a monster you control and another face-up card. 5 disruptions now. And then we have the Promethean Princess in our graveyard to destroy Amphibious Swarm Amblo Ship and special summon out the Promethean Princess. Now we're at 6 disruptions. Then we have the graveyard effect of Swarm Ship to pop. So you're going to have upwards of like 6 disruptions. It is a really stacked board. Not to mention, this deck has a really good matchup against Tempai, a deck I showed off earlier this month, because of this Spirit of Yubel card. Because when they attack, you can activate the hand effect of this, which says, when the opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. And you may be asking, like, hey, you just summon it from your hand. I'm sure you'll pop it at some point after you, like, attack it a bunch. No. If you attack this guy because you have to with Nightmare Pain, your opponent's going to, 1, have to attack it, but 2, they're taking all of the damage that you would take, right? They're dead. If they're playing Tempai, they're going to die from that interaction. So just something to note there. This is the coolest 1-card combo that I've seen with the deck. I'm going to show you a little bit of a weaker 1-card combo, what happens if you just draw Samsara de Lotus. So if you do just draw Samsara de Lotus, what you do is you're going to normal summon it and use the effect to tribute and special summon from deck. You're going to summon Spirit of Yubel again, set the Nightmare Pain, do play around draw and Lockbird, then use the effect to destroy Spirit of Yubel, and add Infernal Grave Swarmer again. Then we have Spirit of Yubel's effect to special summon out, and that's going to summon Yubel. Here, we're losing 1 body because we started with Samsara de Lotus instead of the field spell. We don't get the extra body to summon out. So here's how we fix that. We use Infernal Grave Swarmer's effect a little bit early, and then we use him to make the Yama. Yama's effect is still going to add Sharvara, and then we can use his effect from Graveyard a little bit early again to then special summon out Yubel. We can use Sharvara's effect targeting Yubel to destroy it, and that's going to trigger the Yubel's effect to special summon Yubel Terror Incarnate. From there, all you do is you link both of those into Unchained Soul of Rage, which is going to get the Sharvara's effect to trigger to set back your trap card again, your Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, so we're going to set that. Then we can link both of those into a 1600 attack Appaloosa. So off of just 1 card, we were able to get to a 1600 attack Appaloosa. We have the trap card to revive our Soul of Rage. And then for some reason, let's say our opponent does manage to destroy one of our cards at some point, we can use Yama to banish itself to special summon out Spirit of Yubel. And then Spirit of Yubel is going to either add or set follow-up, and their opponent has to attack Spirit of Yubel again. So they can't really do any like weird interactions where they try to attack your Apple at that point. But also your opponent is going to be forced to attack it, and they're going to take the battle damage from battles involving you. Here's a little bit more powerful combo in the deck. This is a 2-card combo, and the cards can either be Samsara de Lotus, Nightmare Throne, or Beckoning Beast, since Nightmare Throne lets you get either or. We're going to start with Activate Nightmare Throne to add the Beckoning Beast or Samsara de Lotus, whichever one we don't have. Then we're going to normal summon it and add Opening of the Spirit Gates. We're going to activate Opening of the Spirit Gates, which is then going to add another Dark Beckoning Beast. But don't worry, we're not going to summon him. We're going to use our additional normal summon from the Dark Beckoning Beast to then summon Samsara de Lotus. And we're going to use the effect to tribute and summon Spirit of Yubel from deck. Now that we have Spirit of Yubel, we're going to activate Nightmare Pain, destroying the Spirit of Yubel to add Infernal Grave Swarmer. And we can do this again, trigger both triggers, summon Yubel, add Yubel Incarnate, and then summon Yubel Incarnate. Now we're going to link into Unchained Soul of Yama, use Yama to add Sharvara, and then trigger the Infernal Grave Swarmer. So now here, this is where your opponent has like an opportunity to Nibiru you. And if they Nibiru you, you're totally fine with that. You have a lot of extenders. You have the other effect of Opening of the Spirit Gates to discard a card and then special summon back a 0/0 Fiend from your graveyard. And you still have the effect of Infernal Gravescormer to banish it and special summon a 0/0 Fiend from your graveyard. So this is the one opportunity your opponent has to Nibiru you, because if they don't, you're going to make an Appaloosa. So now that we're protected from any hand traps, we're going to activate Opening of the Spirit Gates, discard Dark Beckoning Beast, and special summon Spirit of Yubel. Then we're going to activate Sharvara to destroy that Spirit of Yubel, and we have triggers again. We're going to activate the effect of Yama and the effect of Spirit of Yubel. We're going to summon another Yubel from our deck, because once again, for some reason this card isn't once per turn. And then the Yama is going to special summon back Spirit of Yubel. We're going to use the graveyard effect of Infernal Gravescormer to summon back a 0/0 Fiend. And then we can link those into Soul of Rage, which is going to trigger the Sharvara to then set a trap from graveyard, or a trap from deck. In this instance, I chose to set Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. You can choose to slightly do this different and then make another Yama in your combo. I'll go ahead and show you guys that right after this. But in this instance, I went ahead and showed my build, which only plays Chamber in it. After you do that, though, you're going to overlay both of your level 10s into Valdrath and pass. So this combo ends with the Unchained Soul of Rage, a 3 Appaloosa, Valdrath, and an Unchained Trap card, which can be used to like revive a Soul of Rage, or you can wait on your next turn and just use it as a body. A lot of different choices there with that. Or if they like choose to out your rage in the battle phase, not a problem, you can just revive it back. I did want to show you guys what you can do in the instance of you drawing a weaker hand. So if you draw just one Dark Beckoning Beast, we're going to normal summon Dark Beckoning Beast, grab Opening of the Spirit Gates, then use Opening of the Spirit Gates to search another Dark Beckoning Beast, and use Dark Beckoning Beast additional normal summon to summon the other Dark Beckoning Beast. Here you might be asking how you're accessing your Yubel cards. And currently in the TCG, because we don't have the Summon Sork Errata, we can't access them. We don't have the connecting bridge there yet. But here's what we can do, because there is still a combo you can do. You can link these two monsters into Unchained Yama Soul, Unchained Soul Lord of Yama, and then add Sharvara. Then you can use the effect of Opening the Spirit Gates to discard Sharvara to special summon back one of the Beckoning Beasts, and use Sharvara's effect to set Escape of the Unchained. Then you can link away the Dark Beckoning Beast and the Yama into Soul of Rage. So that still leaves you with like 4 disruptions. You have the Escape to destroy your Rage and destroy your opponent's card, which then triggers the Rage to add back, and the Yama to summon back Rage from the graveyard. So that's 1 disruption. And then you have Rage to link with your opponent's monsters. That's 1 removal. Go into SP banish one of your opponent's cards, 3rd removal, and then you have SP banish itself to banish your opponent's card. That's 4 disruptions off 1 card there. And if you're looking at your hand and you only have 1 card to combo, that usually means that the other 4 cards in your hand are either hand traps, non-engine, or like side deck cards, you know? So that's the combos of the deck. Let me show you guys a deck list real fast. So here's a sample deck list for the Yubel deck in the LEDE format. You'll notice that there are a few different things here in this deck compared to some of the other decks you may have seen. I am choosing to main deck the Chamber in this deck as opposed to the Escape. I think the Chamber gives you a little bit more protection, but also lets you play around Super Poly a lot, because removing the Dark from your field is really good for not playing into Super Poly with like Valdrath and the Soul of Rage. So that's why I'm choosing to play that. Another thing that you may see is different is I am playing 3 Infernal Gravescormer. This card is broken. You see this card here, Sharvara. It got hit to 1 because it has the same effect as Squirmer, but instead of setting a card from deck and like not productively helping your combo sometimes, Squirmer just summons a guy from hand or grave, non-targeting. This card should be hit. This card is absolutely insane. Besides that, there's not too much else that should be looked at. I did want to show off the Yubel, the Loving Defender card in the side deck. This card takes 1 Yubel monster plus 1 effect monster on the field, which is why this deck plays Super Poly, because as you're playing into boards, say you like Samsara D Lotus, summon Spirit of Yubel, and use the effect there, if for some reason they decide to imperm, you can chain Super Poly and sync or fusion with every monster they own. It's 1 plus effect monster. So as long as they have an effect monster, you can take all of them, right? So that's something that I did want to note. But this is like one of the better decks, I think, for next format, so I did want to show it off. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Besides that, you guys